Meditation, you just sit there, pay attention to your breath.
It's really peaceful.
I don't really think of Buddhism as so much of a religion as more of like a mindset that you carry with you.
I really like that Buddhism is not about good and evil.
Everyone is very accepting, and you don't have to be putting up any facades or images.
At school, children study many things, but rarely are taught how to live a healthy, happy human life, how to find meaning in their everyday lives, how to cultivate compassion and peace of mind. At Dharmagarden, we adapt teachings and practices from a 2,000-year-old tradition for use with children, because we believe it is never too early to start a spiritual education.
We started this Dharma School program well over 20 years ago. It was fewer than a handful of kids. It started because just a couple of parents wanted something for their kids so that they could be involved at the center. We started just trying to make them feel welcome, and we ended up finding that there are ways in which we can really reach them at whatever age level from a very young age. It has evolved and grown. We have over 100 kids involved in a year. 45 kids came to Dharma Camp last year. In the beginning, we thought we would lose them as soon as they hit junior high. As it evolved, we have kept them through junior high and through high school, and now we have them coming back as adults.
I think for me what Dharma School did was give me role models that were very compassionate.
I think since we're encouraged to really look inside of ourselves and meditate and talk with our peers and really accept everybody around us and accept ourselves, that makes for more deep connection.
The demand for Dharma School has been a surprise to me because it's not just practitioners who are looking for something for their kids, but people who don't have that strong a relationship to Buddhism but recognize that their kids really need some spiritual instruction, some moral grounding, some sense of community. Some of the most important teaching that we do in Dharmagarden is not the overt lesson giving, lesson planning. It's about the culture that we create and the environment that they grow into and learn to emulate.
When I'm at school, I still feel like sometimes I have to put up a facade, or I have to act a certain way, or I'm not able to really fully express myself for any reason. At Dharma School, that feeling is just non-existent.
Here at Dharma Camp, Dharma School, I was always allowed to be who I kind of wanted to be, who I felt I am.
After a while, they do talk to each other with respect. They talk to their teachers with respect, and there's nothing cowed about it. It's really lively and engaged.
It's there right now, and we practice to achieve it, but yet when we actually supposedly achieve it, then we find out that it was there all the time.
If adults are to succeed in sharing a spiritual practice with children, they must be very attentive to the needs of the youth and be ready to be creative. Over the years, we've found 4 elements that are essential to emphasize with children: compassion, inquiry, optimism, and community.
One of the things we spend the most time on in working with the kids is the sense of harmony, of how the group moves together, and working with them on relating to each other with compassion, with respect, with kindness and understanding. So one of the core teachings in Buddhism is that of interdependence, and how everything that happens in us affects the whole world, and then everything that happens in the world affects us. Kind of giving the kids these building blocks to develop compassion over time.
Dharma means truth. But one of the Buddha's last teachings to his disciples as he was dying was that they didn't have to worry that he would not be there to tell them what the truth was anymore, because he had given them the tools to find the truth themselves. So when we present Buddhist concepts to kids, We do it with a very light touch, and then ask them to really think about it and respond, to really engage the teachings. We ask them questions. We want to find out what they really think and experience. And so in a sense, we lead them through the process of finding out the truth for themselves, and that's where most of the teaching really occurs.
So where we start in Dharmagarden and working with kids is the belief that they already have what they need to develop as a spiritual being. And we don't have to indoctrinate them or teach them how it's done. It's more a matter of providing the structure and the supportive environment so they can have the learning experiences that they need to unfold it themselves. The essence of their spirituality is there, and it's just a matter of time and nurturing for it to show up completely.
Somebody once approached the Buddha and told him, I heard you said that having good friends and companions was half of the holy life. And the Buddha said, no, that's not the case. Having good friends and companions is the whole of the holy life. So in Buddhism, we regard spiritual community as being extremely important. Now, many kids have loving and supporting families, but even if that's the case, sometimes the family can seem like an island of peace in a sea of chaos and aggression that is our larger world and community. But we've found that if people have had the opportunity to be part of a positive spiritual community, even for a short time in their life, that experience can sustain them for a very long time.
So one of the things that I tell my teachers when they are learning how to be a teacher at Dharmagarden is that it's less important that you teach any vocabulary or concepts about Buddhism or Dharma, and it is more important that you practice the concepts of kindness, compassion, wisdom, acceptance. And if you can demonstrate that, then you're likely to get the kids to follow suit. And then they start reacting to each other with that same level of respect and acceptance. And it creates a wider culture that if they stay with us for a few years, the kids really do take this on as something they value. And we really know that we have made a difference in kids' lives when we see them as adults. Some of them come back to us as Buddhists, and some of them come back to us as Christians, and some of them we hear about going off as I don't know what, but happy and successful and really concerned about making proper choices in their life. So that's success.
The finitude of mundane existence cannot satisfy the human heart completely. Built into the human makeup is a longing for a more that the world of everyday experience cannot require. This outreach strongly suggests the existence of the something that life reaches for in the way that the wings of birds point to the reality of air.